Many top-name companies test their products on animals. We all know about Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and many others, but so many actually fly under the radar. Is ethical shopping something you consider when you're sourcing your products?
A number of companies are now using their ethical background and their ethical production as a point of differentiation between their brand and others. We've seen this particularly over the last 4 or 5 years where claims of ethically sourced, organic, free trade have really become popular because basically marketing departments have told producers that this is what consumers are looking for.
Do you consider ethical shopping and animal rights when you search for products?
Generally, yes. It's something I definitely keep in mind when buying products.
Yes, I do.
Do you think there's a lot of people that do?
I don't think so, no. I think most people don't even think about it.
Most people probably take price as their primary consideration when they're buying products, not really concerned where they come from.
People like comfort, I think. They like convenience, they like comfort, they like what they like. And sometimes they'll choose not to look because they don't want to feel like it's going to challenge what they do.
I believe that awareness is growing, and there's certain brands like Body Shop that have kind of brought that to popular attention.
I think people are a lot more aware this day and age on where products come from and ingredients. We always encourage people when they're shopping with us to ask information, to ask questions, to make it easier for them to be more informed. And that's something the Body Shop in particular and Cruelty Free International encourage people to do.
Do you think companies that test on animals need to specify that they do, like say with warnings on their products?
I do. If it was printed on a label that these were tested on animals, people might think twice before buying.
But of course, labelling when it comes to animal testing doesn't tell the whole story. For instance, you may have a company which claims they do not test on animals, but if they say have a hand cream that contains lanolin, lanolin is wool grease. So it doesn't tell you anything about where those sheep came from, how they were treated, were they mulesed, as many sheep are for the wool industry, and therefore you may find that there is a company which has quite accurate claims that they do not test on animals, but many of the products they use as ingredients may not be humanely sourced.
There is one particular benchmark that gives consumers confidence, and that's the Leaping Bunny, which Cruelty Free International actually audits. So that is probably the best example because the end product and the ingredients are not animal tested. It's not an easy emblem to get. We're lucky that we've actually got one. We were one of the first to actually get that standard at the Body Shop. So we encourage all consumers to make sure that any cosmetic retailer they're shopping with is aiming to get that so that they can feel consciously aware that the animal testing isn't happening.
Because the thing with animal testing is that, of course, it's a big business. There are people who breed the animals, who transport the animals, the companies that house the animals, feed the animals, the companies that supply all the equipment to restrain the animals while the experiments are going on, those who do the product testing, and then those who dispose of the animals once they're being finished with, once they have to dispose of the carcasses. So there's a lot of money involved, and for some companies to change completely overnight, it's a financial hit for them. I believe they should, obviously, and many people agree with me. But how quickly do we insist these companies move forward?
But from what I've seen, there are a lot of ways of making things that don't rely on animal testing, and a number of very successful companies already doing that. So I would think that the more people become aware of things like animal testing and ethical issues, they will gradually reduce the purchases from those companies. Those companies will have no choice but to move on to more ethical and sustainable ways of doing their business.
Of course, the European Union on March 11 of this year actually put in place a ban on the marketing and sale in the European Union of cosmetics that have been tested on animals. Now, the European Union is a group of 27 nations that is not radical and does not move quickly. And yet for them to put this ban in place really shows that the argument, it's no longer a debate. The science is in, the facts are in. The testing of cosmetics on animals is not necessary from a scientific point of view, not necessary for a safety point of view, and consumers now, they can buy high-end Parisian cosmetics or a cheap nail polish from their local supermarket in London, and they're all going to be not tested on animals and all completely safe for consumers.
People can make change, and I don't think people realise how powerful they can be. For example, we had 34,704 people sign the pledge against animal testing in Australia alone last year. So we're kind of excited at People Power. People Power makes a change. It's been proven to do that in the past. They've just done it in Europe. So they can make a change across the world. They can certainly make a change in Australia as well. So I really encourage people to get online to places like Cruelty Free International, sign their pledge to ban animal testing globally and make a change.
It can become almost impossible to boycott all companies, but you have to do what you can. If you can do a little or a lot, then it's great. You're working towards the common goal. And have that conversation with your friends and your peers. Animal testing might not be something they even consider. This has been Jackie O'Leary reporting for Undercurrent.